Hello everyone, my name is Notepad and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Well, today we're going to be going over an old game, actually, Dying of Dryads. Specifically, we're going to be pretty much doing the redux for its, redux of a Dying of Dryads Soliloquy. Now, what is Dying of Dryads exactly? Well, Dying of Dryads was, God, how old is this game? Can't be too old. Yeah, looks like it was made at the beginning of the year, so it's about 11 months old, almost a year old at this point. Very relatively old, comparatively speaking, but a little bit younger than some of the other reduxes we've gone over. And this was actually a commission project. And this commission project was about hacking a certain game called Song of Swords. And Song of Swords, well, that's its own beautiful game about autistic sword fighting. But that's kind of notwithstanding. So, if we zoom in here a little bit, what is the intent of Dying of Dryads? What is the thing with it? What's the concept? Well, you're gonna feel real sad when you see this. I hate. So I'm just gonna keep this on here as I explain the methodology a little bit of the background. So, Dying of Dryads was me and a friend of mine's, another one of the members of the consortium. It was kind of a concept, kind of an idea. And the base idea was simple. Here's the Song of Swords hack. Using the basis of Song of Swords, can you do something that's wildly different? Can you do a game not necessarily at all focused on anything except, well, how do I want to word this properly? Song of Swords is a game about sword fighting. It's a game about taking a big weapon and stabbing someone in the head with it. It is a game about fighting and encounters and dueling and generally making sure that you have a thing going into them and killing them. It's a very much a weapon-based game. It's a combat-focused game. It's a game solely about fighting. And if you try to do anything else with Song of Swords, you're insane, or stupid, or both. Now, Song of Swords was an interesting thing for it because we had a mutual who adored Song of Swords. That's his favorite game ever, and he's the one who sent me the entire Song of Swords Revised Edition that he helped pen, which was almost an entire overhaul of the game in general, which is kind of insane if you think about it a little bit too much. And that was kind of like my first real introduction to Song of Swords, was this man throwing a entire Redux version of the game at me and claiming that this was the definitive edition of it. And I realized that they weren't really going to do much else with it, and that's kind of a truth. I might do a curious case on it one day, but like the actual company that did it, let's see, Opaque Industries. Like Opaque Industries has not really done anything since then. Songofswords.net, do we have anything here? Nah, they really haven't done anything else with. Yeah, they have not done anything else really. They have Song of Swords and Song of Swords: The Hunter's Handbook. These are the two things they have. They have literally nothing else. Is there going to be more? I don't know. And if we go to like the Kickstarter, let's do Kickstarter Song of Swords. Let's see what was promised. Let's see. So generally speaking, they did make their money. However, let's see what. Let's see. Yeah, all the digital packs, all this stretch goals. So, like, the stretch goals were, like, a second NPC army deck. I don't even know if this exists. The armor and weapon deck, don't know if it exists. Adventure modules. I don't know if these even exist. Additional artwork that I know exists. The Magic Compendium is not out yet. We know the Hunter's Handbook is. Don't know about the monster deck. Don't know about the Tattered Realms. Don't know anything about this. That's just kind of a thing about this company. They've, yeah, rewards. Creators stopped communicating. Project status unclear back in November of last year. Yeah, promised monthly updates. Received one in December, one in February. Haven't really seen anything yet. Uh, yeah, they have yeah, Song of Swords exists and it died. But there's a dedicated, if small, community of people who absolutely love Song of Swords and do everything from Song of Swords. And Song of Swords, the Song of Swords, the Song of Swordsing. But as you can see, any News and Magic manual, sorcery book is put out. ETA and the sorcery book, hard copy of the book. Love the system, sorcery, so more. The yeah, great system, abandoned by the publisher. First of all, don't actually play yet. Nice artwork, easy to understand the rules. 3 out of 5 stars. It's great. But there have been a few. So, we also have things like Ballad of the Laser Whales. This was a Tattered Realms wiki. Alternate setting proposed for Song of Swords. This is kind of the fan stuff. This is the Tattered Realms. These are all of your, Song of Swords homebrew. There's actually quite a few homebrew stuff out there. I can't see it here, but if you look on the wiki, it's there. Yeah, I was contracted effectively to make one of literary intent. As the term dying, if we use the dying in Shakespeare term, actually I should say term of dying in Shakespeare. Let's see. Rife is violence. Romeo dies upon a kiss, and Juliet stabs herself. Wait, that's not right. Yeah. You might giggle at the part about the lap, but the rest is rest of it sounds sweet, except that die is actually Elizabethan euphemism for an orgasm. Yes, everyone, this game is quite literally. Oh. Thank you for hosting me. Thank you, Taco Place Stuff. Thank you for following. How does it feel to be, hosted by food? Cool. I like tacos. They're pretty neat. Don't know why you're here, but alright. Welcome aboard. I'm just talking about a weird sex game I made for money, and I am going to be fixing it. I guess there's a joke about tacos there regardless, so we're at 95, everybody. So, what's the plan today? Well, I'm going to go through this game I wrote, and I'm going to find things I need to fix with it. Mostly because, again, this company is kind of dead in the water. The publisher is gone, pretty much. Fan game developers. One things that I want to do is, we just do that, and I just want to go, boop. I want to do that. I want to kind of erase the Song of Swords. No, actually, I don't want to say erase the Song of Swords aspect, but I want to gradually weed it out, if you catch my drift. I want to make it go away and not worry about it much anymore, so let's get going. So, let's see, Song of Sword 2019 was born of Corpse of the Riddle of Steel. Yes, this is actually a game that I should go over one day, Riddle of Steel. Because Riddle of Steel is actually a pretty cool, let's see, Riddle of Steel TTRPG. If I can actually click things right. This is an oldie. The entire idea behind Riddle of Steel is that there was a pretty extensive melee combat system in this game. It was huge. And people really liked it, and everyone's like, yay! Which also led to the creation of Blade of the Iron Throne, which is a completely different game that is in no way related to another particular Iron Throne or any other things like that. Do not question it. But effectively, these are the two successors of the Riddle of Steel, that particular RPG. Let's see. Inspired a few hacks with taking concept lethality and combat system. Deep space to Uncle Bungle cavemen. Ancient art of combat. But decided to pay me to write an erotic version of it. I wanted a porn game, a game about stabbing people with swords. After the multiple conceived as a joke, we'll use the meme on our friends who love the game with all his heart. So, this is me kind of going over the basic idea of the setting. The entire idea of the setting is taking place in the garden. Now, what is the garden? The garden is, at its core, a place of lovely mysteries. You enter because of a dryad, or a metaphorical dryad at least. Something that tempts you, and you go searching. You find yourself in this kind of weird realm that isn't quite real, but isn't quite not real. It's where life kind of bends around each other, but the big thing is it's a lovely and forsaken place. It's crystallized in beauty, and it's supple to taste. Dull sun warms the body. It's grown, but it's never blooming. Effectively, everything there is almost stagnant. Everything is perfect and wonderful and lovely, but nothing is ever really good. And that's kind of emphasized by the residents, who are vaguely mythological, but I do leave it open for your interpretation. If you want to do something weird, go for it. That's kind of like my entire thing. Half-riddles and forgotten guttural languages. Luckily, many of the wanderers in the garden, the vast majority of the residents of Twisting would speak their tongue. Sing-song voice and words of deceitful intent. As they desire simple not to they cannot have chaos. Vibrant, lush with life, but lifeless as a painting the garden is a stagnant place, vibrant and lush with life, but lifeless as a painting they mimic. Hunger for what the wanderer brings. They hunger for something, anything they want. They hunger for something, anything, but to get their hearts beating and soul inflamed. They want sex. They want to feel the flesh of a mortal upon their own, to meld into their being and simply become another great little figure in the tapestry of the garden. So, let's see. Dryads and their nymph kin are some of the few who venture beyond the world of the garden, both out of curiosity and their own innate desire to be pursued by another. Yo, dude, is your rage shield up? I don't think so. Here, let's check. Let's go to, where would it be? Oh, nope, that's Twitch Safety Center. Yeah, as you can tell, like, I am very good at the whole Twitch stuff. Like, I'm exceedingly good at it. Okay, there we go. Settings, stream. Let's see. Permission raids. Oh, yeah, I guess I'll allow all raids. Oh, manage stream. There we go. It should be gone now. The raid shield is gone. Ta-da! Also, hello, Dragoon. So, let's see. Okay, the wanderer, while mortal, is immediately taken by the garden, is both an invader and a new seed to fertilize its sacred ground. Did I write this when I was fucking high or something? I think I was. Or I was tripping balls on something good. Okay, let's see. Okay. Rejection of the garden. Okay. Rejection of the garden is not easy, and one of weak soul finds themselves on the precipice of escape, only to turn back into the twisting hedge. However, the garden understand wishes to leave, be it any resident who has given their heart to the wanderer may leave alongside them, be it the Dryad themselves or another resident cursed to that place. But only two souls may leave, the wanderer being one. It is the wanderer's choice to bring with them or reject the garden its delirious residents wholesale. Side note, it's a fucking metaphor. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, literally, it's a Terra thing. I made this as like weirdly metaphorical as I could. I remember that. Actually, to the sin. Yeah, it's just to sin. Temptation of your own escape and the residents who are... Okay, playing the game. Now, here we go. Dryad's a modification of Song of Swords system. That's going to be one thing I'm going to have to... I'm going to put a note for myself right here, which is going to be... remember to cull the Song of Swords influences from the writing. Okay, so it takes role of the Wanderer and one of the Game Master. Garden Master. Wanderer is one venturing into the mysterious garden to find their Dryad. Set of D10s to build a pool of dice and the intent of rolling for successes. Action, the chance of failure presented to check is called. The average target number is... Yeah, okay. In addition, the team and the MS rolls will possess required number of successes, abbreviated to RS. Required successes. Probably, we're going to play around with this a little bit more. Do some minor retweaking. Retweaking and editing. Because the big thing about this game, too, is that this is a solo game. This is just going to be one player. Actually, it's going to be one player, otherwise known as the Wanderer. One Garden Man, one GM, the Garden Master. Now, you can, in theory, you can also just say, screw this part and just, end an emulator. Which, honestly, it wouldn't be a terrible thing for me to actually maybe set something like that up. Like, have, like, a very basic, GM emulator. That could actually be fun. That might not be a terrible idea. I think I'll think on that. Let's see. Pretty much like the idea for tweaking and editing the resolution combats, the resolution system, because right now we're working with D10s. And part of me is thinking maybe to reduce that just because the D10s can get a little bit wonky. Maybe even reduce it down to D6s or even, a little bit lower. Just to kind of make sure that's a little bit easier to play by yourself or with another person. But that's kind of a maybe if and or but the other. Let's see. The higher number of successes. The RS and get how many times the TN must be rolled to overcome the challenge. Successfully, they will pass the check. Yeah, this is also going to be a fun one for Twitch because Twitch, this is a painting. This is a very good, high-quality painting of Orpheus, to be specific. However, it also shows a little bit too much man-ass in there, and man-ass is not appreciated on this Puritan platform. And as is known, as you can tell by the fact that hot tub streams exist, and we all love hot tub streams, do we not? Wink. So, let's see. Characters successful. They pass to fail. Self the consequences. Post to another roll to the TN. Yeah, I actually might change this. That's actually a very likely chance that I'll be changing some aspects of this. Not terribly so, just aspects of it. So, here we go. As main character of the story, the garden search of the Dryad. Humanity makes an initial character player creation points is determined by the GM. GM after consulting this chart. I will probably... What we're going to do, I'm going to put a note here. Actually, no. We're going to probably have to formalize this. And formalize this and I don't want to say reduce down, but and quote DSOSify it. I've used systems like this before with PCP. I think just kind of taking it away from it would be the right option. Good option? I don't know. That's a completely different thing. So, let's see. So, we have max soul, attribute, skills, asset, style, proficiencies, and boons and banes. Soul. Soul. Soul is wonder, the most basic complex. Garden, they would call into question, challenge what's desire, time to fall victim to the garden. Actually, I'm gonna highlight this section, which is going to be expand out the soul section. The soul section to clarify some bits and pieces. Also, the garden becoming consumed with the peaceful stillness and ravenous hunger. Because you have a lot of things like this. Wanderer can recover soul by overcoming challenges presented to them and defeating the residents in their desires. That's a little bit wiggity whack. So it's gonna be things like clarifying parts like this, which I'm gonna put down. Clarify. Because soul kind of acts as your health in a way. Like this is kind of like your meta health. So anytime a wanderer completes one of their journeys, overcomes a resident, forges a bond with a resident, they are rewarded with more soul. Just more soul, but I might have to just do a little bit more there. Use their soul as well. Expending a bit of the soul allows them to add an additional 2d10 to any roll of their choice or reroll failures in the check. Use a currency within the garden. Clarify. Just clarifying bits, making it a little bit better. This seems a little bit weak right here. I'm going to actually bold that and make it red. Just so I remember. And if I do change things up, this is going to have to get changed, obviously. So attributes. Attributes were weird. I remember attributes being really fucking weird. Because I had to change things pretty drastically from Song of Swords. Because obviously, this game, I can't even work with half of them. Physical and mental features is venture deeper into the garden. We're going to be overhauling this. I'm going to just write this over here. We're going to overhaul attributes for a bit more of a vaguely mythological feeling. I want this to be really metaphor heavy, very kind of weird to deal with, and this is a little bit complex for what this game is going to be, so I might tone down some of the aspects of it. I don't know yet. Once chosen, we'll calculate their compound attributes, attribute point cost. So agility, beauty, health, intelligence, perception, strength, wit. I'm going to have to double check these, but I know some of them aren't going to be used all that well. Then we have our Yes, actually, better name, please. Better name, please. Yeah, this is where things where you have to calculate your horny attribute, which you can probably tell this game's going to be a little bit strange because it's a game about this. Would you believe I got paid money for this? And they actually liked it. That was the cursed aspect, is that they actually liked it. So plus X, so we've got that. Skills, one does not enter the garden as a newborn babe with no life experience. Untrained, trained, and mastered. We can probably... Actually, we can probably add a little bit to this. Do this, just expanding it out. Probably, like, we don't have... Wait a second. Is it doing the thing again? It's doing the thing again. I don't know why it does this. But... yeah, we can probably add in quite a few more skills here. I think adding more skills would be the appropriate thing to do. So when the wanderer enters the garden, they rarely have much in the way of tools or objects to assist them in their mad journey. There's gonna be anything. Yeah, okay, so I want some, we're gonna get some, more assets, a bit clear about what can be chosen. Because it's, the idea behind assets are things like, here's the half-broken lyre. Here's the old warm cloak. Here's the woodman's axe. Like, these are all things that are personal to you, not necessarily personal to anybody else. I have a half-broken lyre. It's perpetually out of tune, but people seem to like it. I have this ratty old cloak that I have stitched around me permanently. I literally have this woodsman's axe I found. I don't know whose it is, but it's mine now. Value anyone but lonesome travel. It's the only companion they have. Each of these objects. It's a journey coming into either the mortal world or from the garden. Garden artifacts. Powerful and consistent, but they lack the necessary chaotic nature that the residents desire. Possession of a garden artifact will seize their total soul by one until they discard it, and they do not regain that last part of their soul. I don't know how I want to do this, but we're gonna need to remajigger some aspects and the math behind these. The entire idea behind these were things like, you have the U-arm branch bow. Bow carved from the shape of an arm, stringed with golden locks of a resident. It will always hit the target. It's consistent. If you shoot it, it's going to hit what you want it to hit. The problem is, it's not really useful. Like, it's not valuable to anybody. They're like, oh, it's one of those, so who cares? Sword. A sword. A sword carved with glass held to shining gold, but cannot cut another. There we go. Okay, now styles. These are going to need an update. Okay, styles act for understand the pleasure of their partner. Okay, so styles are going to need a drastic overhaul. Drastic overhaul. Because one of the things with this, like, styles are come from almost directly from Song of Sword. And the entire idea behind the styles, that's going to give you options to do stuff in combat. This was like a really hard part to do when I was originally writing the game. Because of how the nature of it works is, well, it's things like these. Here's the mortal coil. These are your requirements. This is what it costs. Here's your proficiencies. But your proficiencies are like, they're really weird to say because they're fucking proficiencies, and that's what they say in the book. It's like Burning Soul allows them to tap their additional die to their LP. Yeah, their lust pool. God, that's gonna be. Yeah, alright. So we're going to be over, just more, actually deeper explanation of various options for characters. Pan, Absolute Oddity, dealing. Let's see, character only 2 styles may be chosen, all access to each increment. This is going to need a little bit more. We can add a little bit more here. Add a bit more nuance to this. What I was thinking about doing here, it'd be like, if you hit like a full up and you've hit full max amount on like Pan, you get like a perfection. Because you've maxed out this, you are becoming more like Pan. You're becoming more of the Minotaur, more of the Chimera, more of the things that aren't quite like you should be. And because you've hit that perfection, you get a bonus. Also, don't think I forget, I didn't add some weird anime art from Rigura. Of course I added Rigura artwork. Search ILO to get something, to find something half decent to put here. Fuck you, you get Rigura. Yeah, alright. Okay, year ago, Notepad. Let's see. Yeah, styles are just gonna need. I just want to see. Power through rage, cornered animal. We're one switching the location of the maneuver. It's negative 1 LP action. They do not switch the location of the maneuver. Some of these are very odd. Doppelganger. Agony of the heart when engaging with target they hate. Druid. Okay, the proficiencies. Yes. Proficiency is the style's method of attack, along with the best way. Okay, so we're gonna need to change this entire fucking thing. Notepad. Oh, goodness. So, don't think you're getting away with it. Like, when I said this is going to be a weird game, I'm not lying. So, let's see. Proficiency, styles, method attack. +1 LP on their particular body part of their own end. The bonus is instead +3 LP when partner's weak spot, allowing them to surrender to the pleasurable experience of both skill of the wanderer and betrayal of their own body. Proficiency can be taken once per style. If during a confrontation, the wanderer changes styles, proficiency will be of the chosen style. Starting at 1, then doubling each time. So 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 20, and then it'll be 24. So just be like absolutely insane after like the first 2, 3. Parts unknown, mystifying as they are, when one encounters these resonances, they may add that part as a new proficiency to any existing style of their choice. We're going to expand this idea out a smidge. Mostly because I just need to put a little bit more oomph behind it. Let's see. Arms, calf, chest, ears, feet, gut, hands, head, hips, knees, lips, neck, thigh. Okay. Yeah, technically you can be a weird foot fetishist if you want. I can't stop you from doing that, but... unique soul, what a complicated path. And probably... My goal would be let's, like, add more boons. Like, some of these are pretty standard. Like, oh, you're just beautiful. You're just a beautiful creature. You know, one particular beautiful or rare specimen of many residents. Negative +1, +2. Things like this. It's like fairly standard stuff. Lady Killer. Yes, Lady Killer. Natural dealing with those identified as female. They gain +2 charisma, +2 LP when interacting with the feminine sex. Manslayer. Man, I am going to hell for this one. I am going to fucking hell. Let's see. Unspeakable perversion. What? Banes. Yeah, some of these are... Let's see. Addiction. Yeah, some of these need to get kind of made to go away or changed. Like damaged limb is limb mostly damaged. All attacks involving it is considered dead and cannot feel pleasure from it. Depressed, destroyed, dire past, facial deformity, hemophilia. Check them to the core. Interacting them. Horrendous looking, perverted mind, gets distracted. Tetrophilia. Yeah, sensitivity. Okay, there we go. Okay, can't show that on stream. Skip. Okay, actually, oh Jesus. Okay. Give me one moment. Give me one moment, everybody. Okay, I can officially show the stream now. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Oopsie doopsie, Twitch don't ban me. Oh please, no Twitch. Twitch, oh no ban, please. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Considered deadened. Let's see, sensitivity of the body. Designate a number of parts equal to their horny. When a sensitive part is acted upon, they can not reduce fatigue by their stamina. Yeah, we're gonna have to. This entire section is gonna need some. From being to contrast sensitive part, the wanderer or any other resident does not feel anything from that body part regardless of what is done. They do not gain fatigue from being targeted. To gain additional sensitive dead parts, when banned, they may still take a number of sensitive parts equal to their horny. Body banned, again, another sensitive body part in addition to their horny. So, we're going to need to overhaul some aspects here. Like, I hope you all know. Is that another part of this? Oh, Jesus. Yep, okay. Let's do a quick once over. Okay, we should be good. We should be good, everybody. This is my life. This is not something that you should just understand. Me going over this particular game and me knowing fundamentally this was a mistake. There's the ambiguous translation before the act. The constructor if moves and actions. I need to clarify this. Ravagement fatigue. After watchful understanding this weakness, it is time to further his grip on the wanderer's resident soul. I can't believe I'm thinking this, but there is a method to do this a little bit simpler with a little bit more stuff behind it. I have to consult it. I don't want to consult it. I don't want to look at it. Boss, I don't think I'm strong enough. Boss, I don't think I'm strong enough. Okay, so I'm just gonna highlight this and just type in the words. There we go. Question mark. Let's see. Stamina acts as both a natural barrier, tiring effects. Weakening their body, weakening both their body and soul. This will possess during the encounter, so the party roll more successes. So this is effectively your health. To the central guard in the line, influence slicing off a small part of their soul. The loser of this engagement will have their soul permanently reduced by 1. Winner will still have all the remaining fatigue. Also have all the remaining, all the fatigue they have lost reduce their soul temporarily. Which I should put in. So I need to clarify this section a little bit. Just fix this. Just Nani. Okay, so 4 plays left ambiguous. Parting small bodies helps in cutting small but critical parts of them, allow us to blast their armor and deliver blow necessary to conquer the soul, or delay them long enough to find another method of escape. Which reminds me, I'm gonna need to literally throw in a non this aspect aspect as well. Pretty much the good boy route. I can choose whether or not to control during the next phase of the encounter. Add on to this, add on this part and clarify. Ah, yes, my famous line. Twist and turn, two soul becomes one, and the heat exchanges sweat, and other liquids of indeterminate origin. Two states of being during this time control and position controls the state of which being will determine who's attacking and defending. Oof, God. Alright, so we need to screaming into the void, please help. God, we have to stream this on fucking Chatterbait at this point. Holy shit. The character in control is one attempting to reduce the fatigue of the character not in control, reducing their fatigue but gradually reducing their own the longer they are in this state. Position determines where the character is relative to their partner. Being on the bottom restricts movement ability, while being able to rest and recover some fatigue for a moment. Being on top confers additional benefits. We can expand the system out a little bit. That's a line. Yep, this is expand this position. Expand the position system out. God help me. Allah, please deliver me. Allah. What am I fucking doing with my life at this point? What am I doing? This is how it ends. This is just how my this is how the Notepad add-on experience ends. Is me having to do this and me gradually losing my mind. Okay, rounds, turns, and acts. I forgot there's a literal comment. This is the comment system. Don't man, why are you the way that you are? Alright, okay, this is fine. This is fine, everybody. Let's do it, boys. Let's do it. Let's do it. And this is defined by 3 distinct moments in time, being the round, turns, and actions. Is a full term of both parties. This system, honestly, gut this entire system and redo it. Mostly because, like, the big thing is most of the time there's going to be the player, otherwise known as the wanderer, and and one other. Like, that's going to be the primary thing. Obviously, I'm going to have to worry about groups, but that's not really going to be a priority. That's like not going to be a thing I need to worry about too much, because that's not really the point. My other partner can disrupt the future actions of another. Yeah, they're done in sequence. Yeah, I'm gonna have to click this. The states have been determined. The act begins unhonest. The act begins. The characters during this time have performed maneuvers. Actions they are committed to further their own ends or bring down their opponent's defenses. Most basic maneuvers performed are as follows. Which were attempts to take control of the engagement. They roll the number of dice dedicated to the maneuver, equal to the RS, equal to the character's control declared maneuver. And control declared maneuver assigned LP. Okay. Jesus. So on a success, do I even have a note here? Please tell me I don't have a note. Nope, Mashiro doesn't have a note. Yep, this is Mashiro. Very I can never remember her. I can never remember the full name, but very good stuff. Don't worry. Yeah, recommendation from your boy Notepad. I'm into some weird shit. I've had to go in depths of places I'm not proud of, but okay, so if we're using this idea, we're gonna need to clarify a lot of these fucking maneuver aspects, aren't we? Expand and clarify maneuvers, and remove the SOS aspects from them. I'm pretty much going to have to like effectively rewind making this game and then go forward chipping out all the little parts of it that don't really work. Attempts to take control of the engagement. They roll the number of dice dedicated to the maneuver against the RS. Like, you get some of these, which make sense in context, but not great. Control next round. Failure. Lose a fatigue equal to the RS. Change style. Actor. Change the style, shifting to a different method. Attack or defense with their choice. Endure. Dedicated LP. Reduce any incoming maneuvers damaged by the... Not really damage, like... This isn't really, quote, damage, per se. Like, that's, like, the big thing. Like, this isn't damage, necessarily. This isn't, like, I'm going to reduce your health by 10 kind of thing. Because that's not how this works. Oh, lordy. A lot. Okay, so... Yeah, this is the big idea, is that you're pretty much killing your own fatigue by virtue of performing actions. You're having to expend something to die a little. And that's why being in control is sometimes not the most optimal solution. Dedicated LP rolls damage equal to the number of successes. Dedicated LP... let's see. Character rolls dedicated LP against their partner's remaining defensive LP or defensive maneuver. If the character shifts position to a partner of the desire... Yeah, we're going to expand out the position system quite a bit. Why? Because I am evil. And now... Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh. Oh, God. Okie dokie then. Let's get going. At least I just need to make sure like these... Yeah, more Rigura artwork, because Notepad likes Rigura. Whisper. Actor can speak, able to reach ears. Nothing can the opponent attempt to lower their LP. Lowers any non-dedicated LP of their partner by the amount of success. Fails to do anything, hands on the prize. Round gains the benefit of stated. But yeah, this needs to be like... There's aspects of this that need to be overhauled. Lifts their mouth and not dead on the mission. Reach out part. Bites down on the target. Yeah, bites down. Oh, God. Oh, sweet mother of God. Oh, my God. Why am I doing this to myself? All right, no, we're going. Oh, why? Okie dokie then. All right, this is fine. This is what I do. This is what I do for fun. See, the best part about this actually is that technically, once I'm done with this, what I can do is I can gut the entire system. Not really gut the entire system, but I can gut the book, and then I can PDF the book and actually upload it to a website and charge money for it. Because I can just use old paintings. And I love old paint. That's one secret about Notepad. I adore 19th century paintings. Usually it's about 1840 to about 1890. I adore those paintings. I think they're really cool, and I think they have a lot of life and a lot of flavor to them. Before that, you get some like you get that, and then you have the early 20th century, which is really abstractionism that I'm not a huge fan of. I think Picasso's overrated. I do that is Notepad's like hot take of the day is that Picasso is really overrated. It's like, oh wow, look how crazy. No, fuck off, Picasso. Begone, Picasso. Nobody likes you. Well, I don't. Yeah. Increase your fatigue cost while action by double. Kisu. Yeah, this is literally like your offensive option if you're not doing too hot. Just fucking kiss someone. Things go real bad. Surrenders control to their partner, allowing them to take control of the encounter. They lose fatigue equal to the dedicated defensive LP of the partner. So this is kind of your gamble right here. If I remember correctly, this was the gamble. Is if you're pretty sure they don't have anything there, you can relinquish control. You burn pretty much all your dice. However, you've immediately switched to now they're kind of struggling with it if they didn't do very well. Because in fact, because it is in fact a righteous nightmare. Actually, make maneuvers for every conceivable. God. Let's see. Okay, so good mode from a single wanderer is possible. Key thing is only one character can be considered in control, while others are not in control. Different position, top or bottom. The character in control. Okay, so that's going to expand out the position. Ah, yes, I forgot I had to put this literal note in. Yes, I actually had to put this note in. Aha, haha, the funny square painting, man. Yeah, thank you, Orange Chainsaw. Me and my hatred of fucking Picasso. No, I'm a Renaissance man when it comes to that. Like I do enjoy. I love paintings like this. Not even just because ass. No, I just like the paintings of it. I think they're cool. Yeah, I distinctly remember why I had to put this note in. I had to put this note in because somebody in one of the lewd discords I'm in, game design lewd discords, mind you. Let me preface that. Asked if that was a thing, and I explicitly told them to fuck off. So I put this note in, which is don't do it. Just don't fucking do it. Let's see, relationships. I'm going to expand the relationships out a little bit, so I need to expand relationships out. I think that's going to be an important part of things, because how I want a game of Dying of Dryads Soliloquy to go. The idea is you're wandering from encounter to encounter in an odd dreamlike space. The idea is that these people, that the residents, provide. The residents are effectively anchors in the garden, and they allow you to kind of say, "I want to go back to them." You can't really say, "Oh, I want to go back to this part." No, the garden doesn't know that very well. It doesn't want you to go backwards, really. But if you say, "Oh, well, I want to go back to, you know, I want to go back to the madam," then go back to her, and it'll lead you to her. That's kind of the idea. Your map is not really going to be built from places. It's going to be built from people and the interactions you have with them. So every character relationship with them, be it positive or negative, encounter with others. No individual being secondary to the wanderer's plight. The noble soul will be seen again and again throughout the story unless they're fully killed by devouring their soul or having them simply be consumed by the very garden they inhabit. Time encounters take place, relationship, chance of improving or degrading. So I need to expand this out pretty hard. Am I going to put like an entire like full like here's the weird relationship matrix? No, I'm not going to do something like that. But I'm going to probably make this a little bit more complicated than -3 to 3. Got character with them with a -3 or 3 relationship with them. And they also possess a -3 relationship with out of the garden. So I need to fixu. So yeah, this kind of the idea, like the core idea of this is you're going through the garden, you're trying to find things, you're trying to kind of find your dryad for them to lead you out effectively, all while having those relationships form. It's here's a bunch of characters in a situation. They're all completely stagnant. They aren't changing. They know they're unchanging. But they kind of want out as well because they want a soul. That's what they want. That's all they really truly want. They want your soul. And they don't really know how to get that. So they're going to try to drain it from you because that's what they kind of know. So when you have an extreme relationship with them, if you have a really extreme relationship with them, you can effectively say, no, you're coming with me. Being like, I despise you so much that the only person I can actually bring out to the world, I'm going to condemn you to being immortal for the rest of your days because I hate you that fucking much. I'm dragging you out of here. And they'll be like, fuck you, I'm going to live just to spite you. Well, on the other hand, it's, hey, this character is in love with you. They love you to death, and that you've brought chaos into their life, that they've gained a little bit of a soul now. And then leading them out is like, I love this person. I want to be with them forever in the mortal world. Ta-da, you've done it. Look, everybody's happy. So, vagrant souls make up majority. Nothing outside their purview and exists along a singular routine, creating an endless cycle and attempt to find purpose. However, more noble souls often attempt to kill these beasts with their own lesser souls to use as currency of sort. As enjoy consuming, if only a slight hint of what they've lost, these souls often take the form of something related to the vagrant itself. Deer-like enters and so on. Deer have antlers, and so on. And if the wanderer wishes to harvest their vagrant souls, a simple skill check is often all that. We can actually, think out the idea of vagrant souls a little bit. Vagrant souls, kind of like, we can even call these like, quote, minions, like a minion mechanic for that. Am I saying get weird with it? Yes. Cat girl mechanic, yeah. Now, like, a vagrant soul is like I think the best way to word like what a vagrant soul would look like is like, this is a vagrant soul right here. This is the Cheshire Cat would be like a vagrant soul idea. Like, it's clearly a fucking cat, and it kind of understands what it wants to do, but it's a fucking cat. These things don't think. They aren't really having their own ideas. They say, I am a wolf, I am going to do wolf things for wolf reasons. And they will. Let's see, gablings. Small mischievous contrast beauty plays their small hideous forms. Possess no soul. They do not possess delirious. They do not possess a delirious greed, becoming lifeblood commerce in the garden. Anything lost will be found by a wandering goblin and be sold off to anyone great with great souls in exchange. Of course, goblins also love things from outside of the garden, trading away their most valuable things for it. This includes small parts of Wanderer's own soul. Everything has a price. Everything can be sold. So again, we need to expand goblins out. Goblins, goblin town, and goblins, goblin towns, and hobgoblins. Yeah, you can't fuck the goblins. Like just like a real anime cat girl. Finally. Yeah, goblins. The best way to describe a goblin, it would be like if you're just like walking around like, oh, what an idealized place. And then then a magic man, emerged from the woods and being like, hello, would you like to buy a home loan? Like, like, would you like a cheap mortgage? And like, oh no, he's trying to sell me a used car. Like that's how I encourage people to play goblins. They're used car salesmen, except instead of selling a car, they're trying to sell your soul. And I'm going to actually have to put an explicit note as well. Also, there's an anonymous Python in here as well. That's hilarious and terrifying at the same time. Where is it? So yeah, it's effectively these guys they don't care about you. They don't want to do anything like that. Why would they? There's no reason for them to do it. Hello, Orange Chainsaw. There is no reason for them to actually partake in any of this. What they want to do, though, is they want your soul and they want your stuff. Let's see. Delirious Wanderers. Akin to the Wanderer themselves, a delirious wanderer is an individual on the brink of madness. Chipped away, and they are single-minded quest to find their Dryad. Cannot be brought out. They must find their own way out. Range of attributes. I actually put a note for this one. No. Yeah, these were the sad ones. Like, actually, I should do is expand out Delirious Wanderers. Like, I want these ones to be weird. Like, you encounter a Delirious Wanderer, you're encountering someone who's just like, I've been in this place for 30 years. Don't worry, I've slept with everything. But you will. What I want them to be like is that they're talking about things that you have zero knowledge of. They're going to be referencing noble souls that are completely different, that you've never encountered before, with the intent of being, they're in their own garden. They are in their own little world. You're in your own little world. And you just kind of crossed over for a moment. Kind of like a Dark Souls, ironically enough. That's actually where I got the inspiration for these guys, was Dark Souls invasions and such. They've shown up for just a minute into your little world. You've shown up to there for just a little bit. What happens? What is occurring? And what tragedies and what problems occur because of it? The answer is not much. Okay, noble souls. Residents who reside in the guard, de facto royalty are noble souls. Stroke their own ego and partially denote the powerful broken souls they still possess. These residents may appear human in looks, but various body parts find themselves edited or terrifying to witness. Main connoisseurs of both Wanderer's affection as well as their soul. Nature of their soul, they only possess 3 fatigue per soul. Fix? Possess garden artifacts as well as vagrant souls for trade. So this is the Lady of Hearts. 7 feet tall with a crown of roses and flowing dress of amber leaves woven together in a spider silk. The Lady of Hearts is a beacon of love and affection in the garden. However, the inhuman has their pupil and human with pupils of beating hearts or ravenous hungers claim many already, whose partial statues and vagrant souls gather around her for her own ends. She's very good at Gorgon, and she has a little bit of Minotaur in there. She wants to break your fucking spine. Broken souls. Whose inhumanity only has increased their desires, suckle a soul larger than life and exemplify that in the highest degree possible. A knight's broken one. Actually, a knightly broken one, maybe shining plate armor with a golden sword, but inside is a combination of vines and dead leaves. Other broken may cling to relatively normal forms. Nightly broken. So clean the normal form and nature's just horrifying, so alluring to those willing to give them a chance. Two-headed beasts of men, creatures with translucent fairy wings and eyes which gaze in every direction, with a slithering tail of half man, half snake. Being that wishes both to consume the body of the wanderer as much as they wish to devour their soul. Encounters with noble souls. Actually, so encounters with broken souls. Souls aren't common. But when they do appear, they should be a memorable, if terrifying moment. This is the if you want to do weird shit characters. You want to do some weird stuff? Go for it. I'm not going to stop you from doing weird stuff, because that's exactly what's going to be occurring right now. That's when you look at it, you're like, wait a fucking sec. Wait a fucking second. Like, oh no. Broken souls possess garden of artifacts and anything else that they might value. Once defeated, their already broken mind form will not surrender the valuable essence to their soul, simply accepting the consequences that the garden inflicts upon them. This is what I mean by, like, I need to put in a method. One of the big things that I need to do is I need a method which is pretty much like, again, the good boy option. So you can do the, safe option. Like the safe option is consume a bit of their soul. Consume a bit of their soul and, let them go. Pretty much you both come off a little bit worse for wear, but you still have your soul, and they have lost a little bit of their soul. They've lost a little bit of their power. However, the good option would be, you don't consume their soul, but you don't gain anything out of it, but you also don't take anything. It's that kind of moment of trust between you and them, of being like, I'm not going to do what you are going to do with me. You want to eat my soul. I'm not going to do yours. I want to be a good person. You're already broken. I don't want to break you further. This does also, which is also the bad option, which is pretty much, just devour their soul. Like, deliberately going out of your way to, like, take more than you need. Wow, Notepad, these rules kind of suck for enemies. So it does not let it, enemy design, majority of S relatively balanced counters against relatively human opponents. Did not account for 7-foot multi-armed chimera Dami Mommy who wants to eat you, literally and metaphorically. Possess aphrodisiac quality, reducing launch each time they engage with her. Similarly, a broken soul may possess exterior, weird limbs that don't apply. Noble souls, greater souls may be acquired by having a deep relationship with the resident of the garden. Small power themselves to wander. So, yeah, restoring soul, 2 greater souls per level of soul. skills, new skill, a new style. Pretty much the idea is that you need great souls. Every journey has its end. There are multiple endings for the wanderer in their travels, from escaping the garden with a loved one in tow, towing alone, leaving alone but improved, or succumbing to the disaster's fate. Really seeking. The giant is simply not a creature to find, but a piece of themselves that they felt was missing, that they will find. Both out of sight, out of reach, but always close, always toying with the wanderer for them to discover what they're truly seeking. Should a wanderer or any other resident of the garden lose all their soul, no loved one or creature willing to assist, they also come to the garden, they'll degenerate further from their form and merge deeper into the garden itself. Noble souls become broken become dozens of wandering vagrants, and the wanderer who falls, predatory nature will become another fixture for the next wanderer to find. Can only lead you from this beautiful stagnant garden, and here's all this. Also, yeah, subscribe to my Patreon, by the way. Give me money. Please. Please, I'm begging you. Notepad needs money. Okay. So, I kind of get the idea of what we need to do. I have the ideas are there. So, like, the main things what we are going to need to do, like, the absolute, like, most important things in this game is, one, we're effectively things like overhaul maneuvers. Play deeper on the relationships. And act. Play deeper on the relationship. And then we need just to add more options. Obviously, anytime you do something like this, you need to add a lot more options. I realize I've been muted this entire time. I can genuinely say, with all my heart, I have no idea how long this is going to take. At the end of the day, I believe with all of these, I'm looking at maybe 3-4 episodes. I would say about, depending on how things go and how easy or if I decide to or completely overhaul the core mechanics, I would say this is going to be, if I don't decide to overhaul the core mechanics drastically, it'll be 2 episodes. It'll be done by the end of the week. Because it's literally just going to be me overhauling shit and just tweaking and fixing and making things a little bit better and kind of having its own identity a little bit more. If I choose to change the core mechanics and I choose to add in a bunch more options, that 2 days is probably going to become 4 days. It'll be done next Wednesday. That's the goal anyway. But yeah, that's that. I think I have a good idea of how I want to do this. I have a good idea of how it's going to work. It's mostly an act of doing it at this point. And I'm feeling good. I think this shouldn't be too complicated. So thank you all for watching. My name is Notepad Addon, and this Wednesday, I will begin formally with Dying of Dryads Soliloquy, a Redux project. And God, I hope it works. So thank you all. Godspeed, good luck, and I will catch you all on the flip side. I am, as they say,